Hello, everyone. I am David. I am a storyteller, like those from the old days. I'm not going to use AI or anything. You're going to hear my voice. And the story that today takes place over the whole world. You see, in the world, there are lots and lots of things of wonder. In the universe, there's lots more. All the scientists and everything think they know everything. But it's come to be proven that they know very little. How much they know, they don't know enough to anticipate what's coming next. See, deep in outer space, there's a lot of things happening. Worlds being made, worlds collapsing, suns collapsing, sending out not just in 180 degrees, but 360 degrees in every way. Some traveling at the speed of light, sometimes the things are not at the speed of light. The slow going, but even at the speed of light, it will take years and years to get to the Earth. Over 10 billion years ago, something was set in motion. There was a gamma ray headed out 360 degrees from an exploding star. These gamma rays took time to make it to Earth. Even though the Earth is only about 4 billion years old at the most, maybe 5, these gamma rays has been coming. Nothing you can see, nothing you can smell, taste, but it will be something you can feel. And when it hits the Earth, it goes through the Earth, and it only going to last for just a few weeks, 3, 4, maybe a little bit longer. And what it does, it robs the earth of all magnetism, all electrical stuff that is run by magnets creating electrical charge are gone the instant it hits Earth. Now, it doesn't go deep, but it goes deep enough to where the generators in the Hoover Dam, the magnetic properties that help them create so much power, is gone. All the solar cells that create electrical situation are gone. Anything that is up, alive, and reacting is gone. Yes, even some of the windmills that create electricity are gone. That means no telephones, people, no cell phones, no computers, nothing survive this gamma ray radiation that hit the earth. We didn't see it coming, nor did we see it going through the earth, nor do we know how long it's going to last. All we know that in a world full of energy, full of power, and all that there is, suddenly just stopped. Let me take you to a little town outside of Galveston. Uh, this little town is called Jamaica. And in there, there's a lot of small residents that's outside from the main tourist town, Galveston. And there's a lot of people that live there, prefer to live there because they still get a little bit of the big city life. And Galveston is close enough to where if they want to do some big store shopping, they could. But it's about 10 miles away from the heart of Galveston. almost 8 miles from the end of West Galveston to Jamaica Beach. And in Jamaica Beach, there's lots of communities there. Lots of tourists come down there with their campers and stuff. Jamaica Beach has their own little beachfront, their own little golf course, their own little community. It's basically set up because of the ranchers and the farmers that's around there. And when this gamma ray comes through, everything stopped. Sarah fluttered her eyes open. Everything was still dark and dim around her. Her clothes kind of clung to her, even though she'd come in, took a shower. She just plopped down on the bed and fell asleep right away. She didn't have nothing much more than just her undies and a tank top there, but even that clung to her. You see, without the air conditioner running, her apartment that faced the beach and the sunrise heated up quickly. This has happened before to her. And it's always because Jamaica Beach always loses electricity, or Jamaica condos where she was living sometimes messed up, and they would with their air conditioning, and that's what Sarah thought of. So she sat up on the edge of her bed, looking at the darkness. Her bedroom faced over the Gulf of Mexico. Nice little place. She liked it because of that, but also because she was on a top floor where she couldn't get the noise and everything, but she did get the heat of the sun when it first come up. But she expected her air conditioner would take care of all this heat. But when it doesn't, her apartment goes from little 75 degrees all the way up to almost 95 degrees in a matter of just a few minutes. And this caused distress on her. So when she sat up and she felt how muggy and stuffy it was in there, how hot and how much she was sweating, all she could think of, damn that community, damn this little place. Why does it always have to be me that they do this to? She remembered that she had just pulled a long 48 hours at UTMB. Oh, that's where she was doing her residency at. This was her last year. She only had about a month more to go before she received her certification as a full MD. And that's why she went to the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston. She also chose that because that's where the World Health Organization, or WHO, brought their ships in to be restocked, and people can hire on there to sell the world as a world doctor. And that's what she had planned on doing, become a doctor on what's called the Pink Who ship, going around servicing communities around the world. That's what Sarah really wanted. Kind of following her big sister's place. She wasn't as big as her big sister. I mean, Sarah was only 5'8", and she has sandy blonde hair with blue green eyes. She weighed about 119 pounds, which was standard for a girl like she. Unlike her sister Shyla, which was a tall woman living in London, around the world, already traveling the world. So she was used to that. But what she wasn't used to which to all the distress that was happening to her right now. So she weighed about 119, and her funds and everything came from a family inheritance that was set up for her, even though her family mother and father had died just about 2 months ago, and she was back there on Thanksgiving and going through the funeral and burying her parents, which kind of strange. Mother died, then the father died. I would believe that they both died of broken hearts, even though her mother had had cancer, and that's the reason why Sarah went to becoming a doctor. So she was sitting there thinking about everything, decided to get up, get some coffee on, get herself started because she knew she had to be back at the hospital about noon the next day. And she estimated, well, it was only about 5, maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, even though at that time of year it was still dark outside. She didn't know, though, she had slept through the whole day. Her body was that exhausted. So Sarah got up, walked to the bay window there that had dark curtains on it, and flung them aside so she could see out. And seeing that it was still dark, she estimated that it was still morning time, and she hadn't slept that much. But when she got up, she also reached to the curtains. She reached over on the nightstand to get her phone to see what time it was, to see what type of messages she had received. And it's not working. It was dead. She slapped her forehead and realized that her phone was about to die the night before, and she just forgot to plug it in and charge it. So now there is no charge on it. That's what was going through her mind. And then she says, okay, let's go get some coffee on. And as she left the bedroom, she flicked the switch to turn on the lights, and nothing happened. She says, oh no, no power? No wonder I ain't got air conditioning. The power's gone off in Jamaica Beach again, or at least to this condominium here. Not the best in the world, but it's cheaper than most places. And still, the power is off. What am I supposed to do now? So she didn't waste time. She got her things ready. She got dressed, and she was going to go down and make it up to Galveston Island and to IHOP there, get something to eat. Then she'd go into the hospital and get a shower and things and change into her work clothes. She figured she had enough time to do that. But as she rushed downstairs, which was steps going down, even though it's 2 stories, she still wished they had an elevator there, but they didn't. Even with the elevator, though, with power off, she knew she'd have to go downstairs. So she locked her front door, ran downstairs, and then she went out to the parking deck. It was covered, but she noticed as she went out that there was people mulling around, just standing around, looking around. She said, well, morning time. They're up getting ready for work, just like she is. So she went over to a Mini Cooper. Huh, kind of funny. She knew her brother and sister couldn't fit in it. That's the reason why she chose it as a way to get back and forth. Plus, it was great on gas mileage, saving her money for other things she may like to do. But as she got in, she noticed that there was no dinging, no light don't come on, no nothing. And she put her keys in and turned it, and not a thing happened. She slumped forward with her head on the steering wheel. All she could think of what else could go wrong. As she got out, the Mini Cooper. There was a gentleman that she knew coming over to her. She didn't know him by name, but she knew him by face. He said, "You ain't going nowhere today." She says, "But I need to get to work." And he looked at her, "I know you might need to do something, but you ain't going nowhere today." She looked at him and said, "What's going on?" And he looked at her and says, "I'm not really sure, but from what I understand, the power's off all over the island. We haven't been able to get a radio broadcast, TV broadcast, or anything. The power's just off all over. Seems like there's a major blackout. It may be off all over Texas, or at least this part of Texas." Oh, Sarah says, "Damn, what am I to do?" She says, "All I wanted was my morning coffee." And the guy laughed. "Morning? This is the evening. We're not really sure what time it is, but it's the evening." And she thought about her grandmother clock that she had that she kept wound up. She may want to check that. And she said, "Well, let me go check the time." And the guy said, "There ain't no need for that." He says, "If you want coffee or something, you can walk up here to town square, with a little yellow light in that. They got a community table set up there feeding everybody, and they got coffee up there. Somebody had pulled out their charcoal grills and they all started cooking. And so there's food up there and coffee up there and stuff to drink." She said, "They did that? Yeah, we don't know when the power's going to come back on, but you might want to go up there and get something to eat." And when I left there, it was about like 7:30, and that was over an hour. So it was about 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock now. But they said they're going to be going all the way till midnight, so you got plenty of time to go up there and get something to eat. Sarah just shook her head. She said to herself, "This can't be real. This late at night? Lord, how tired I am. I better go get something to eat because I'm hungry and I do want my coffee." Doctors lived off their coffee. Sometimes they didn't get much to snack on, but they wanted their coffee. So Sarah headed, which was just a couple of blocks away. She had to go east down her main street and hit the cul-de-sac and take it 1 block north. That was where her bank and everybody was at. And she could see the glow of light fires up there and everybody standing around. So she decided to go on up there. And as she got up there was a gentleman to greet her. She recognized him as the town mayor. He says, "Ma'am, we need something from you before you eat. We need you to write down your name and your address and your occupation, please. Because from what I understand, and all over the earth, all over the world, this power is off, and we don't know when it's going to come back on. So we need to know how to place everybody in the right field so they can contribute to the community till everything comes back up." Sarah looked at him. "Mayor Chancellor, is it really that bad?" He looked at her and said, "Yes, it's bad. Nobody cars will run. We got people on horseback that go from here to there. And we set up a no-go zone to the east of us here to keep people from Galveston coming in, and to the west to keep people from coming in. We need to block everything else because the last thing we need is rioters and looters in this place." "Yes, Mayor Chancellor. Listen, I don't know your name. Don't call me Mayor Chancellor. Just call me Miss Chancellor. My name is Alvin. So just call me Alvin. Alvin Chancellor, something like that. But we still need to know your name, where you live, and your occupation." And she looked at him, well, my occupation is right now is I'm about a month away from being certified as a doctor, MD. And I live right down here at the Jamaica condos. I've been there for the last 7 years. I was there for 1 year, then I had to go home and come back. So about 7 years all total. He says, oh, so you're a student up there at UTMB. She said, not quite a student. I am an MD. I just need my resident certification where I've done my time. And I want to have that up in a couple of months. He says, okay, that's close enough. I'm going to put you down as a medical expert or MD for the town. That means you'll have free use of the clinic to treat people and to help people out. All we ask is that you do what you normally do, and we'll take care of the rest. Your food is free, because if you're just a tourist here, we're charging them. And what we're charging them is day labor. We got lots of things we have to take care of here, and we need laborers. But the laborers get hurt, and they need medication and stuff, and they need a doctor more than anything. So I'm going to put you on high priority as a doctor here. Sarah looked at us and said, is it that bad? And Alvin Chancellor looked at her and said, it's that bad, and it makes it worse. We don't know how long we have or when the power's going to come back on. Go ahead, get yourself something to eat right now, Sarah. And we'll talk again later, tomorrow after the sun comes up. Sarah says, oh, yeah, we'll talk. As Sarah got in line to get herself something to eat and get her coffee, all she could think of was her brother and her sister and how far away everybody was.